Hey guys, Scott Benson coming back at you here from my garage, and today we're going to do another video in the How It's Made Kit Edition. So without further ado, let's get started. We are doing the steering wheel. Everybody asks, how does he get it off? How do you hook up the new one? How do you, how do you hook up the horn? What if your turn signal doesn't work quite right? So we're going to go over all of that today. Here's the tools we'll need, at least for replacing the steering wheel. You're going to need a flathead. You may very well need a Phillips. You're going to need a lock plate remover or another tool made for that. A 22mm socket. And you're going to need the steering wheel puller. I have this in stock. I purchased it 10 years ago and I've used it 5 times, but hey, got it on the shelf. So let's get moved forward, and I'm going to adjust this a little bit. So we're going to start. We're going to take off this cover on the center. You just go underneath it, pop it out. Very easy to do. It's just a rubber piece with plastic, so there's not much to it. And then you're going to get your 22mm socket, trusty Snap-on brand. For any mechanics out there, y'all know what happens when you buy those. You sell the house. All right, so that wasn't too hard to break free. Somebody has had this off in the past, so not a problem there. So we're going to take that off. We're going to hang on to this nut because we are going to need it. So there it is. We'll set that up on the dashboard. Now, normally this is your horn button and it would be locked in. It is broken, so that is one part that we're going to be replacing. The new horn ring, if you see this little tab here, that's what this would normally lock into. So we're going to be replacing this here. All right, so steering wheel has not been removed by somebody in the past, or at least they've put it back on correctly. So yeah, I guess I probably should have gotten the socket to turn these bolts. So now in the steering wheel puller, they usually come with 3 different pairs of bolt sizes. And we are going to need the smallest one. Wow. Okay, so it is the smallest and the coarsest. So we're going to need to back this out. You're going to want to take, the puller comes with 2 washers, so you'll want to put those in. One of mine has been used several times and it's a little bent. Doesn't affect anything. So we're going to back this out some more, turning it counterclockwise. Alright, so one tool that I did not get is going to be my wrench for the actual business end of this particular tool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this and come right back. And in the art of video editing. We have got the socket that we need. So we're going to tighten these up a little more because we don't want them to pull out of the steering wheel. I need to turn that up just a little bit. There we go. All right. So this nut is a 16 millimeter. So we're going to turn this in until it is pushing against, and you want to try to get this plate here where it's level. You don't want it pulling at an angle. So let me show you right quick how you want this to look. You see the rod there is touching the center of the bolt. Take my finger off there. You can see how it's level. So put you back on the clip, and we are going to turn this clockwise, and it's going to pull the steering wheel off the steering shaft. Well, guys, I was wrong. This has been off at some point in the not too distant past. I'm going to assume maybe it was the previous owner, maybe it was the new owner, who knows. All right, so as you can see, we were talking about that one piece being broken. Real common. You can see here the tab that it actually locks on is missing. So now we have this lock plate. We have to get that removed. So I'm going to put you back on the trusty stand. So we're going to get this. You got the 5/16 in there. And it screws on. And then we're going to turn this wing nut so that we can tighten up this against the plate there. And from there, you're just going to push that, or turn that rather, down. And I'll show you what you're wanting to see. That ring right here, you want to see space in between, because we won't have to get that ring off of there. So, all right, it moved a little bit there, so we shouldn't have to work too hard at it. Now, my screwdriver is a little big for this particular tool, so give me a minute.
A few moments later.
All right, guys, got to backtrack just a little bit here. Didn't realize that I wasn't recording. So, put the new turn signal switch in, and as you can see, it's working nicely now. Put the locking plate back in, and before that I put the new horn button ring in. This is the adapter plate that comes with your Gullwing from Kits Customs. Knight Rider World will also send one. Looks a little bit different, but they both do the same function. So you're going to get your male end of your quick connect adapter. You're going to pay attention to these indentations. These align with the female side. You'll see those little ball bearings in there. Those are what align your steering wheel and lock it. So you'll want to take the two screws out of this. Now I have modified. I found this is the easiest way to get this together. You want to strip most of the black wire. It doesn't really matter which, but it's just easier thinking of black for ground, because this will sandwich between your adapter plate and your quick connect. The other side is the factory spring connector, and I cut this piece in half because it won't fit So what we're going to do is we'll put this back into here. Now I have already made an alignment mark for my quick connect and my plate, so I know which direction they have to go. But we're going to take and we'll make this connection here. Presses in and turns, locks it in. And this is where we want to make sure we have our quick connect adapter oriented in the right position. Now remember, you want that black wire, you want that to sandwich in between the adapter plate and the quick connect adapter so that it's grounded. At this point, go ahead and start putting in your bolts. And here in just a moment, we're going to test and make sure that we have gotten everything lined up right. We'll get 2 of the bolts in, get them tightened, and then we're going to test the horn. You're like, but how? I'll show you. All right, so let's pretend that we now have all of our bolts in tight all the way around. You can take a screwdriver, you can take a wrench, anything metal, and these 2 screws, you want to touch them together. Horn works. So we'll take this, we'll push back into place. Go ahead and tighten up our screws. Now when your quick connect comes from Ricardo, and I'm assuming when it comes from Knight Rider World, the horn button is already connected. On Ricardo's, you're going to take off these 2 screws, and inside there's going to be a 9-volt battery connection. You want to put a battery in, hook it up. That's the switch to turn the light on and off on the Gullwing. To install, you're going to depress this locking plate. You're going to put it on there, you'll let it go, and you'll turn until it locks. And then, that's it. Your horn works. You're good. Make sure everything's snugged up. And that's all there is to installing the horn and the Gullwing. So, if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. Please feel free to like and subscribe and share this video to anybody you know who is building a Knight Rider replica. Obviously, my goal is to educate as many of you as I can in how to properly build a Knight Rider and answer as many questions as I'm able to for you guys. A lot of your questions are going to be on the frequently asked questions page at www.knightindustriesofkentucky.com. If you have questions that aren't there, please shoot us a message on Facebook, send us an email, and we'll get those questions added and answered for you. So until next time, ring that bell wherever it's at. I don't know. And keep your scanners peeled. We'll keep on educating.